rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lori, on your roll call, please.
Kevin Scramlin.
Here.
Janelle Keller. Here. Teresa Bells. Here. Jim Christopher.
Here.
Keith Wiederhold.
Here.
Approval of agenda, including items, additions, changes. Janelle, you want to change something?
I did. I'm going to need to remove the budget amendments. I was hoping to type something up for you today, but I was pulled out of the office unexpectedly, so I did not get that together for you. So that is letter C, and we'll just do that next month.
Anyone else?
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with budget amendments removed.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, public comment. You will have 3 minutes. Like I say, we're not answering questions at this time, but if you had something you wanted to comment on, feel free to do your 3 minutes. Anybody?
I will wait this time.
You'll wait?
I
Okay.
will wait.
Maybe I won't have one already. No, I
Maybe I'll
can't.
have more. Can I have 6 minutes again?
Oh, you only have 3. Good. Anybody else? All right, we'll close public comment. Thank you. Janelle, you want to run over the consent agenda?
Sure. Just want me to synopsis it, is that what you want? Okay, so yeah, so our accounts payables, general and fire, those numbers probably look relatively normal. Trust and agency, you'll see 12,969. That was due to the refunds we approved last month. That was for all of the companies that had money in escrow that we approved for them to be refunded. The money had just been hanging out, and a lot of it had been there for a couple of years. We have all of our revenue and expense reports, Teresa's treasurer's report. You'll also see the closed session minutes from a closed session that occurred last month in the manila envelope that all of you have. We hopefully you had a chance to check those over. Those do need to be returned to me before the evening is up here. That is what is in the consent agenda.
You can get consent notes.
It's just approval on the consent agenda.
Excuse me.
So unless anybody has anything that we need to remove out of there, or pull out of there to discuss, I would motion that we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
I'll second that.
Laura, you want to do a roll call on that, please?
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes.
Janelle Keller.
Yes.
Teresa Bells.
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Keith Wiederhold.
Yes.
Presentations. Mr. and Mr. Dunaskis are here. For those of you that don't know, these guys have been working for the township for about a year, just a little over in consulting. You go wherever you want, Justin.
Yeah, we're skiing from the back, not everyone over here.
All right.
Thank you.
Floor's yours.
Excellent. Thank you, Supervisor. Greatly appreciate it, and really just want to start off with a thank you to everyone, to the board, the staff, the residents, and all the other stakeholders on behalf of myself and former Senator Matt Dunaskis and our firm Dunaskis Consulting and Development. It's really been a pleasure working with you guys over the last year and serving as your government affairs consultant. It's been a pretty busy year, and looking back on a lot of things accomplished, looking forward to kind of the foundation we built to hopefully bring a lot more good to Groveland Township and further support your guys' initiatives and your goals. And so over the last year, it's really what we've kind of been focusing on, some of your key initiatives, and trying to strengthen the township's economic competitiveness, infrastructure improvements, quality of life for the residents. Now we can support you guys with your policies and procedures and things. And so as we look at last year, there's a number of things. I'll just kind of highlight some of the main objectives and some things we accomplished. And first we'll talk about the Mines of Oakland. As most know, it's a very strategic piece of property here in the township. A revenue generator for the township is an active gravel pit, but as most things, a lot of things kind of comes to an end. The gravel is kind of being mined out, and so transitioning that income-producing asset that the township has, along with the private partners, a private partner on the site, so it's kind of unique, a public-private partnership, because there's 2 different landowners, of how to position that asset into the future. And so the first step in that is, it is an active gravel pit. We were able to secure a $60,000 grant from the Detroit Regional Partnership. to develop a comprehensive site analysis packet, which is really the first step for anything to be transitioned kind of from a big active open mining pit into, in this case, an industrial park or an end use for a new development for redevelopment. So that grant really helped us produce over a 70-page document, really identified the kind of the desktop engineering of things like wetlands and availability of utilities, all these different factors that an end user, developer, what have you, need in their site selection. And that's really starting to help position the site for where it needs to be on an elevated platform, because it is the last mega site we've come to find out in Oakland County. So the last 200 acres of kind of a site development that's ready. It's a very unique piece. And so you want to attract the right users, talk to the right folks, which we've been talking to over the years. And so on top of that initial $60,000 grant, we've also positioned the township in the piece for another series of grants too, when we have individual end users, again from that Detroit Regional Partnership. So I can go on and on about the Mines of Oakland. That's a little bit of last year, you know, where we're going with in some of the initial funds, and as it starts to position itself towards the future, kind of where we start and so forth. And that kind of goes into some of the community engagement. First talking about DTE Energy. May have been a little sore subject at times here in the township and not. And so, you know, one of the first things we did after working in Kevin's leadership and the board and saying that, you know, more needs to be done in this team, more needs to be invested, said, well, let's drag them out here. We talked to them, we've had these conversations, drag them out here so they can hear it firsthand. And that's exactly what happened. And that community open house, the township and the residents really, you know, astonished me in the turnout, vocal, the facts, they came prepared, and so did DT to a degree with how many people they had and so forth. And I think the theme overall was DTE needs to do better, and they said themselves, we need to do better as DTE. And so in that continued pressure, as Kevin shared, I think at the last meeting, they're now putting their money where their mouth is. You know, it was a huge effort, you know, a lot on the residents, the leadership here, with a $10 million investment right here in Groveland Township. That's not seen really in the more rural areas or that large investment in general. So the squeaky wheel does get the oil, and they see they need to do better, and that, as Kevin outlined before, is going to be in the way of substation upgrades, further advanced tree trimming, obviously updating some of those old equipments, transform stuff in the field, and all that goes around to bringing that, you know, energy reliability, you know, to the township. And to further position it for, you know, further growth or just reliability and quality of life, right? And then same, we also worked with Consumers Energy as we looked at, you know, other infrastructure and needs and what's happening in the township. You know, gas is a big thing too, and they do provide power as well, but for cogeneration, generators, further development, the pipeline that's on the road there, as well as back to the Mines of Oakland, the Consumers has a unique asset adjacent to it, and so working with them for access up in next to their property all the way up to the ORV park, as we have had some interest in talking with some end users that rent out the ORV park to access the industrial park up there. So creating that easement access and working with consumers is, you know, one of the other things that, you know, help positioning not only now for the future and making sure, you know, it's in a place that can be redeveloped. And then that, you know, obviously then the marketing and business attraction for the Mines of Oakland and other areas, talking initially with larger developers who may want to come in, hey, would you come in, just, you know, to the township reposition it, developing with the township engineers and the private partner on renderings and coming up with an initial site plan for the industrial park and positioning it and talking with larger end users, smaller end users to start to position as now with the new roundabouts coming in, new driveway, because this property will start coming into fruition for redevelopment, that, you know, those end users is able to get, you know, tenanted and turned into a new income producing asset for the township. Also legislative and regulatory monitoring, trying to keep you guys abreast on what's happening, be at the meetings, follow-up calls, stuff which relates to, you know, a lot's been around energy or ordinances or what have you, so trying to keep you abreast of the latest, you know, regulatory and legislative changes. And then also on your local ordinances and policies, we work closely with the planner and the township attorney, staff, and different, you know, tweaks to ordinances and agreements and so forth over the last year. And so we're just really excited to continue, you know, that work, continue to position, you know, the township as we move forward. Obviously, the state just kind of wrapped up their budget. I'll touch on real quick. You may have saw it clocked in at $81 billion now here at the state of Michigan. And our state house did a very nice job of really trying to say that, hey, you want more dollars, we got equal cuts. And so, as most may know, we have a divided And the House is controlled by the Republicans and our Senate's controlled by the Democrats. And so we saw a lot of leadership in the House of saying, hey, it's gotta be kind of dollar for dollar, but the budget technically did increase a little bit. We started to see that, and there was also needed more money for roads, right? Roads to talk, and they tried to come up with $2 billion extra in the budget for those. Formally, things have shifted, and particularly as you look at the transportation funding, we've gone away now from the 6% sales tax and the other sales tax to the whole size excise tax, which is good in general as we drive our roads, that every dollar at the pump is going to go to the roads, right? However, that's shifting the formulas and where those monies are going. So even more so, we're going to have to be proactive, and the money's going to have to come in the way of, strategic kind of looking at things, grants, other funding, working with the county versus the previous formulas. That's another big thing moving forward, and also that we saw in the budget, is creating more opportunities to go and ask for the money versus being given out appropriately in the budget. The earmarks are, getting less and less and more into different grants and programs they have to proactively go and get. So as we move forward, we're going to see more of that and try to, have to be that squeaky wheel to get things done as we move forward. As the, budget is tightening, and with the divided House and Senate, we haven't seen a lot of policy passed this year because of that divide. And we'll probably continue to see that into next year. We're in a 2-year legislative cycle. That's how it works in Michigan. So all the bills continue into next year. If you'd believe it, full-time legislature only has 7 more session days this year. And so we don't see a lot getting passed before the end of the year there. We kind of see that continuing probably into next year. The big focus will be the budget next year. And they're going to want to try to get the budget done by June probably, because it's an election year. And so they want to get it done early. And so they might also realize that the revenue projections that they built in this year's budget for the roads may fall short. There's some challenges to a couple of the pieces, namely the wholesale cannabis tax, 24%, that makes up almost $420 million of the funding for roads. That's getting a hearing before it goes into effect. Not to say it will, but there may be some further adjustments and tightening on your side. I think early estimates for Groveland was you'll probably see tens of thousands less in revenue sharing. I think around 30,000. Supervisor Scramlin was talking with the representative, and we were looking at our own numbers and size of the township and so forth. It's probably on point, if not more. So again, even more so we look to the future, need to be cognizant of this board and the township in general is very forward thinking and on a very solid ground, keeping Groveland very unique without having huge industrial or commercial tax base to provide level services. And so it's going to take that, I think proactive forward thinking to continue to do that and secure those dollars so, Groveland continue to strive. So we look forward to continuing on those efforts, and Senator Matt and myself are here if you guys have any specific questions. And look forward to working with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Jim, you got any questions?
I don't have any questions. Well, not of the Damascuses. Is part of the purpose of the presentation, are we in a position to vote for renewal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, let's go with other questions, then I'm happy to make a motion.
Teresa?
No, I think you did a good job covering everything that you guys have been up to for the past year, or probably more, right? Because I know that you did assist us prior to us hiring you as a consultant, so thank you for that.
Certainly, thank you. It's been truly a pleasure working with you guys. We love, we were done. We love that proactive thinking and forward, gets our wheels turning, and we love to see action and things come to fruition. So we appreciate you guys as well. So thank you.
Do you have anything?
I think so.
Well, I have.
Okay, well, let me back up before I say that.
Yeah.
You guys have done an outstanding job. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the help you've given me and this board. I mean that. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna second what Kevin had to say. I think these two and their team has done a great job for the township. And I don't know if we have a contract in front of us or anything like that, but I would be happy to make a motion that we renew for another year with this group.
I'll support that.
Is it the same
Same
amount of money?
That would be.
Yeah, through the chair. Actually, in the original contract, there was a renewal for a year, so we can write a new contract, or we figure we should honor the renewal and the same rate and services.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Laura, would you do a roll call, please?
Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bills,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Lederholt,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Public hearing. I will open the public hearing for the CDBG funds that Janelle's had a great time with. So we'll let you go with it, Janelle.
So, this will be open for public comment as well, but for background, for those of you who aren't familiar with CDBG, it's, Community Development Block Grant, and it's funding that comes in and then Oakland County kind of distributes it. In the past, we've had a locked-in amount, it's been about $7,000, and they come to us and there are specific projects that we have to, really very few that we can apply for that we're eligible for. So these community development block grants are for these areas where they may be underprivileged or have lower income levels. And the government identifies where these blocks are. Here in Groveland Township, we have almost none. Actually, we have in some years had no blocks at all. We have been able, last year, we were able to utilize these funds for fire department uses, only at Fire Station 1, not at Fire Station 2, because of where this block is at, located in our township. The county is doing something different, so there's a lot of work that goes into these grants for what isn't a very large amount of money, but the county is now doing something different. So in the past, we were kind of guaranteed these funds, assuming that we applied for something we were eligible for. However, this year, you can apply, but you're not necessarily guaranteed that funding anymore. And the purpose behind them doing this was so that maybe our community at some point wanted to apply for a larger grant. Maybe we wanted a grant that was worth $40,000. Instead of just the $7,000, we could apply for the 40, and if they approve it, if it's qualifies as one of their main goals, if you will, then maybe they would approve it. However, that would mean maybe another community would not get that funding that year. So this $7,000, all of that to say, this $7,000 is on the table again. However, I do not know that what we have applied for in the past will fall under what their priorities are. They have indicated that their priorities are home repairs. Again, we really don't have a large area for this. We do still have an opportunity here as Groveland Township to apply for some of their home repair projects through the county. So they are attempting to work toward that, but there are some specific requirements that the homeowner, and it does need to be a homeowner, it cannot be a tenant, has to qualify for. So I'm not sure if anyone else wants to share, but that's kind of where we're at right now. I personally think that our best bet probably is to attempt to apply for the fire department again this year. The only other thing that maybe down the road we may want to consider looking into a little bit, and I don't even know if we can with where we're at, is maybe some blight remediation programs. We have had a few community members that they can't really afford to do some cleanup around their home. Again, there are qualifications for each of these, so even with those funds, it would only be available to specific homeowners. But really, the reality is, I don't even know if applying for this, if it's going to be something that we will receive this year. So, that's where I'm at. So I guess if you have any questions, certainly this, as a public hearing would be open for comments as well. Sure.
So it's $7,000 for the whole community?
That is what we have, historically had. In the past, we've actually donated it back to the county many times over the years. So there's Haven, the home for battered and abused.
Sure.
And then we've also, what's the other one we used to do all the time? We went back and forth between Haven and
Lighthouse?
I don't think it
Something
was
similar to that, and I don't think it's existing anymore.
You're right. No, it was Haven, and then there was a mobile home project that we also would go back and forth between, and we got to the point where they actually told us don't do that anymore. I think it was through Habitat for Humanity, don't quote me on that please, great program, but I think somehow that all worked together, and it doesn't sound like the funds were always distributed how they maybe were supposed to. So we were actually informed, I wouldn't recommend you do that anymore.
Yeah.
So we went back and forth for years between both of those programs. And last year we ended up applying for this toward our Fire Station 1 for some of their gear.
And this is an annual?
this is an annual thing.
Okay.
So we commit
Can
every.
we give that to the fire department and move on? It's a lot of-
The problem is, we don't know if it's going to be approved.
I got it.
Yeah.
Now, we do have some folks in the township that are needy, but what I hear you saying is, unless they're in the designated block that the government has said they qualify, if they're not in that, their house can be falling apart and they won't get any money from this.
It depends on what it's for. So there are a number of different things that you can apply for a CDBG, a number of different areas. Yes, they all come with stipulations and qualifications. So for example, we would love to contribute. In the past, we said, okay, well, we would love to contribute to BGYA and HIA. Can we split the costs? Well, there is a maximum amount and there's a minimum amount that you can apply for each project. So because of that, it makes it very difficult for us here in Groveland, which is a benefit for us, right? We have a wonderful community here, and we're very fortunate, a lot of us here, that for the most part, people are doing okay. But that does make it difficult to be eligible for a lot of the things that these grants are actually, can be applied for. Did I answer your question okay?
Yep,
Did I answer everything you were asking? Okay.
I think so.
Was there anybody else had any questions
Or recommendations?
or recommendations also?
I recommend give it to the fire department.
I'm with Steve, I'm with Mr. Ford.
You like this guy.
Well, I do think can you just at least comment on, last year we gave money to the fire department.
Yes.
Has that been spent, like, where is that in process?
That is a great question. So we actually just today, this morning, received the email from last year's application of the final, basically the release of funds. We have to get it returned to us still, and we get the okay, and then everybody can actually spend the money. So I told you, this comes with a lot of strings attached in many meetings. So, but yes, we were able to use it toward the fire department this last year, and I forget what there were specifics. It was just for gear. It couldn't be something that could be used outside of this particular area. So, very strict guidelines for where the funds can go. But I do think, we certainly can try to apply for it again this year and see what happens. They very well may say, no, that's not a priority because of the restructuring of this grant program at this point.
Okay.
But they did approve last year's today.
They did approve, oh yes, they had approved it.
It had been approved
It
already.
had been approved already. We've just been waiting for months for them to actually release these funds.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Was that
Yeah.
kindly said?
Yeah. Well, I think, in light of the fact that it's not really a sure thing, I would hate to go to anybody and say, hey, we might be able to help you with this, and then
Yeah.
have them get their hopes put up, and then, oh, nope, sorry, we really can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't be a positive thing to do. And, so I think the simplest thing, and the thing that's gonna benefit really everybody in the long run, I mean, would be to give it to the fire department again.
Sure.
Yep.
Hand over here. You got a couple.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr.
What
Dunn.
about smoke alarms for the residents? Could the fire department do that?
Talk to that man right there.
I got 'em.
Not with those funds. Those funds, I don't believe that they would be able to use those for.
No, we do that already through a state program.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, somebody else had their hand. Oh,
I was just gonna say that last week, somebody sent me a text, and I'll just read what they said the CDBG was good for. I don't know if it's anything that you guys might want to, oh my gosh, it just tied up, of course, my phone, that's all silly. Okay, so, this is saying that it is federal, but it says that they can be used for infrastructure improvements, public facilities, housing rehab, demolition, economic development initiatives requiring that a significant portion of funds directly benefit low and moderate income individuals. So I'm not sure how that applies to the fire department. I mean, I'd love to give them more money. We passed every millage so far, but if there's anything in those areas that we haven't maybe helped in our community, it would be good to maybe apply in addition for those. Just a thought.
Yeah, and we have, just to kind of answer, I may have you rattle off a couple of those. So the, pardon?
I can send in an email.
Well, I was actually just gonna touch on them right now. So the reason that Fire One is eligible is because of the area that they serve.
So they actually fall, some of that area is under one of those blocks in low income. So that is why we were able to fund it, because it would actually impact that particular block. The home repair, we have actually applied for before, and not one dime was ever used. So again, what the problem is that it has to be for these low income areas, but then those individuals also have to meet certain qualifications. So we've had people apply in the past, but were not approved. So then it's just wasted funds. So wonderful, wonderful suggestions, and trust me, I'm with you. But it's been a challenge. CDBG has been a challenge.
No, I'm with the fire department deal too. I think it benefits most of our residents for where we can use it right now. Anybody else? You wanna make a resolution for it? All right, we'll close the public hearing at this part. Do you wanna make a resolution, Ms. Keller?
No, I won't. Then I would motion that we pass the resolution as submitted, with the intention of, you can see the intent to apply that was submitted, that's not part of my motion. With the intention of applying for the fire department as was applied for in 2025.
I'll support it. Roll call that, please, Lauren.
Teresa Bells,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Wiederhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller. Yes.
Well, there's no unfinished business, let's go on to new business. Approve October 14th, 2025 Township and Fire Board meeting minutes. Does anybody have any changes or adjustments, I should say?
Yes. So, on the board minutes, page 2, I believe the item, it's, under item A, 4th bullet, on page 1 and 3, change HRA to HSA. I believe it's the other way around. We were supposed to change HSA to HRA. Is that correct? Because we don't have HSAs.
Yes, that should be correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, page 3, I'm not sure, maybe this is just me not understanding, but at the bottom of page 3 where it says the 701 fund, it says that 701 accounts they work with, like escrow account, a developer comes in, one of our business owners comes in, has a project they wanna work on, the funds can cover their legal fees, commission fees, what? I'm not sure what that means. Is that me not understanding, or was that, like, what were we trying to say there?
Probably commissioner.
Commissioner?
That's probably the commissioner fees.
Commissioner,
Yeah.
so not
Planning
commission. Oh, planning commissioner.
Correct.
Yeah,
Gotcha, so like the PC or BZA,
yep.
Correct.
okay. So that was page 3. Page 5, under BGYA, it should say treats and trails, as opposed to treats and trains, but small minor thing there. Page 6, under the treasurer, it should say VF, as in Frank. C, grant came in, volunteer fire capacity, so. That's all I have for board. Don't know if anybody else had anything.
Did you have anything, Janelle?
The only thing, the new Holly Middle School name is Holly Middle School.
I saw that and I was like,
It's original.
It's under my report. So, I'm like, did I say that? I must have said that.
Did you say that?
What are we talking about? What are we even talking about? New Holly Middle School name.
Did Did they had an open house?
They had an
I
open
bet you it was
house.
just
Is
the
that what-
open house,
Is
maybe,
that what you're talking about?
maybe.
Good.
Maybe the middle school had their open house, Laura. I was probably tired, and that's probably exactly what I said, but it wasn't what I meant.
I listened to it many times.
The new Holly Middle School name is Holly Middle School.
Anything else? Keith? Tracy, you wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of October 14th, Fire and Township Board as amended.
Support.
All those in favor? Opposed? Moving on, no-has. We did have the final no-has meeting, and I thought Whitney may have the final projections out, but she didn't. Part of what this, they had asked is, they wanted to get the contracts out for next year. They wanted to know if we were going to leave our amount that we charge the residents the same. With that being said, the fees are going to stay the same for us for no-has. Nothing is going up next year. The vendor that they have said that he would hold his price. I think it said that no-has started in 2003. So since then, this year they hit their mark, or hit the mark, I should say, of over 10 million pounds that no-has is disposed of. So the price per car was $115.54. Obviously, the township picks up the other 100. So we had 92 participants. Of that, 42% were new. The only thing is with the 92, just for the board, I don't know if you guys know, but it's a little bit deceiving because people are dropping stuff off here. And then as residents pay for the car loads, I can tell you of at least 6 I know of that I told that neighbors got together and loaded up one truck, which is fine, it's great, but
Yeah.
I think it's a great service for our community.
I agree.
But it's up to you guys if you wanna raise the rates. With everything staying the same, I'm more than comfortable with the $15. I don't see
I
don't
love
see
it.
any reason to.
any reason
Simply they're not raising.
to charge our residents any
No,
more.
we've collected a lot of stuff, and it's been good to be there, to see it coming in, the amount of stuff is just incredible.
Yeah, it's a great program, but like I said.
Even tires, when doing like the tire collection, some of these people, so one vehicle shows up from one property with 300 tires on it, it's tires.
Yeah, no, they both have been great programs. Well, with that, I'll make a motion that we leave, the no-has fee at $15 per car for our residents.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Alright. The next thing you will see on your agenda is Holly and, we're taking the budget amendments off, so. Holly and Rose, I'd mentioned it in earlier meetings that I wanted to go to them for money, so that's why we're here talking. I kind of drug my feet a little bit to make sure we were covered and the building was gonna be done. So we've got about 1.5 million in the state police side. So with that being said, we had $60,000 in extras. There was the evidence lockers. We had to put ceilings in the cells in the evidence room that was not in the original drawing for whatever reason. There was some Cat 5 wiring we had to do for them. So we ended up, like I say, with about another 60,000 in it over what we thought we were. So step one, I'd like to go to them and ask them each to give us $30,000 to help us cover that cost. But the bigger part of what I want to do, and this is what I want to talk to you about, going forward, and I've asked a couple people on this, here's how I came to the number. They say we could rent that space probably for about $100,000 a year, is what the rent would be on that. So in speaking with Janelle, we talked about it quite length. I want to get a building fund started so that down the road, when there's repairs to do on that building, or things need to be changed, just like the state police in their lease, we gotta paint it every 7 years inside, new carpet. I wanna start a fund so that we have some money going forward, so our township is not continually paying to fix this building. It's fine when it's new, but it's not gonna be new forever or long. So my thought was, with that $100,000, I would like to go to Holly and Rose and see if we could get each of them to pay us $50,000 a year that we would take and put in a separate building fund, and that's what we would use that money for. Now, when I say that, when I go to them, one deputy, Oakland County Sheriff's, with their new increases, is $173,000 a year. If you go to Holly, the little town of Holly, the budget for that police department's $1.9 million. So I don't think us asking for $50,000, especially with all the money this township has spent for decades now, and to my knowledge, Holly and Rose have spent nothing. I think going forward, for whoever is sitting in these seats, there should be a building fund started, so when these things come up, there's some money to take it off our taxpayers. But I'm open to all your guys' suggestions.
Kevin, I need a point of clarification. So the first order of business is to approach them to cover half of the cost of the change orders.
Yep.
For $15,000 apiece.
No, I wanted them each to pay 30, to take the change orders off
Off the
us.
list. Okay, great.
Yep,
And then the second component is an annual, per community, $50,000 apiece into some sinking fund for.
yep,
Got it. Okay.
Joe?
The only thing, I don't know if everyone knows how that works with Holly Rose and
Oh.
Groveland and why they're here.
Sure.
Maybe helpful for
Yeah.
those of you. I don't know if you'll know that or not, but.
Yeah, I think it would have been back, I should have looked it up, but it was in the mid-80s. Obviously, our community's always struggled for police protection, so, between, the former supervisor, De Palma, I know Marilyn McGee, our fire chief at the time, was huge in it. They recruited the state police, basically with the premises, we'll give you a spot to stay at free cost, which they have been in Station 1 now for what, 40 years? At no money to the state police. That's how we've got the state police protection that we do. As I say, I can't even begin to calculate how much money it has saved this township in 40 years. And still having them here is a great thing, and building that building is a great thing, and I'll be the first to tell you, we're gonna push to make it a full-time post, and we hope we can do that. But with that being said, that's why we're here. I think it's time for Holly and Rose to step up and help us some.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of seems to me like an obvious thing that they do benefit. They use MSP,
Absolutely.
right? They don't have Oakland County Sheriff out in Rose or Holly Townships, so they are counting on MSP. We have provided them a free place to be, so yes, I agree with you, and I think that, that's a realistic amount. And would you wanna do like a contract or something with them where they, they sign something, we all
Oh, yeah.
sign some stuff?
No,
and-
we're gonna have Will draw something up, for sure.
Yeah, so,
And once we get in the door with them and we're talking about it, I think we'll have to put in some escalators, depending on how long they'll sign it for.
sure,
I mean, we got a 20-year lease signed with MSP, so I think the first contract should start with 20 years for them.
well, and there are some things written into the contract that you're right, they
Yeah.
specify that at this many years you have to replace this and
Oh, yeah.
redo this, and so, I agree, we should not have to foot the bill for all of that. We built the building.
And even outside of what we've agreed on, with their interior maintenance, their roof repair or external,
Garage
fixes,
door.
yeah, things that are going to come up over time, just
Yeah.
like any other homeowner has ever experienced, right? So, this kinda, I think, softens the blow a little bit, so that we can still benefit from having them here without charging the community millions of dollars. and then still have a lot of those costs covered as they come in over time.
Mhm.
Is everybody good with the amount?
I think it's good.
I am, is it enough?
Well, it's never enough.
Well,
But it's a start, how's that?
okay, so, yeah, I mean, I guess we would have to look at the language of the contract.
Yeah, I was gonna say, me and Will discussed it a little bit earlier today, and he told me, he's like, hey, talk to Holly and Rose and see where you can get and figure out what escalators we can put into it.
Okay,
So,
alright,
but we need to have the first conversation.
so we would be the ones who would just be babysitting the money.
You got it. Yeah,
Okay.
because any repair, anything else is gonna come through this office anyway, so, yeah, so we would be the administrator of it.
So all of that language probably should go into that contract,
Oh, yeah.
okay?
Everybody good then?
Absolutely,
Okay, then I will pursue it.
thank you.
I will pursue it. Holly, are you youth assistants?
So Haya just had their meeting this past Thursday. They are doing some fundraising, selling 50/50 raffle tickets. The next one I think is December 1st, and that's at the Holly Moose from 5:30 to 5:45, so trying to bring in a little extra money there. They have a toy project that they're doing right now through the holidays. Looks like maybe through the 8th of December, they are collecting toys. And they're distributing those on the 14th of December. They have the Halloween car show in October. They received about $218 in donations. And then on November 28th, so this is the day after, is that the day after Thanksgiving? 27th? Okay, they have the Dickens Festival Light Parade. So that will be coming up, the Dickens Festival will be coming up soon as well over in Holly. And I think that's all I have for Haya.
Thank you. Teresa, PGY?
I really don't have anything to report today. They meet tomorrow, check their website for any new updates.
You're easy to do that.
Yeah,
Keith, Planning Commission?
We met and talked about the best YO. There was a motion to vacate it, so that, and that motion passed, it was, so the YO is dead. The commission is going to, after the first of the year, going to look at embedding language into our current ordinances through a text amendment to those ordinances, to get stuff written in, as opposed to just a standalone YO. And I think that's going to take place after the public meetings on the master plan. So that'll probably be in February.
Sure.
That's about it.
That it?
The zoning board of appeals did not meet. And no report.
Supervisor report. So I met with Oakland County Parks, a couple things. The front of the ORV park, they are going to start re-landscaping that, redoing the sign and stuff, getting that more presentable, I guess. How's that? So, yeah, they're gonna bring some more trees in and get a kid who can mow it. I talked to Chris Dow from the road commission, they're gonna clean up their ditch, so let's hope next year it looks better. How's that? And then another thing they're talking about doing, I'd mentioned this to Janelle too, is they're talking about trying to connect the trails from Groveland, Oaks, over to Holly Rec. In concept, it's probably a great idea. My only concern is if they can do it safely, because they are gonna be crossing Grange Hall Road.
I was gonna say.
So,
On that curve.
Yeah.
so we're gonna have a meeting out there the 19th. I'm curious what the road commission comes up with. But
Huh.
that is on the horizon. We'll see what they say.
A pedestrian.
Who's that again, was that?
Oakland County Parks.
I don't think so.
Also, I did sign a letter, that well, it really started with OCATS, but it turned into a statewide thing. A state supervisor, or a township supervisor sent a letter to our governor, about how we felt about the budget. I'm sure that went over great. Me and John did have a workman's comp meeting. Luckily, we've had no claims the last 2 years. That was a pretty easy meeting, wasn't it, John? Yeah.
Yeah, he treats us.
I wanted to tell Keith and Jim, did you guys get these letters from the Holly Library? Anybody from the board is eligible to go Saturday. The Holly Library is exploring. It's nothing that's been brought to their board yet, but it's exploring becoming a district library. By district, I'm assuming that's Groveland, Rose, and Holly would be my guess. So that meeting is Saturday. I don't know who would make that the opening day of deer season, but they did that. So, I did receive a letter from Vesper, which I have it if anybody wants it. I think all of you got a copy of it too, didn't you? It basically says they wanna have a meeting with me, and if we don't do something with them, they're gonna go to the state. It's probably not anything we didn't think was coming. But I do have a copy of it if anybody wants it. Today, I did get a letter from Springfield Township. Did you get one, John? Springfield Township sent us a letter and a certificate saying thank you. I don't know if all of you know or not, but they had a tragedy with a fireman that got killed.
No, I did not get it.
At home. He did not get killed on duty, but got killed at home. So our fire department and other fire departments covered them for, I don't know what, probably 3 or 4 days altogether. I'll let you read that when we're done. But Supervisor Davis and Chief Covey sent a nice letter telling us thank you for everything we did for them. And last but not least, I got a nice letter from the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks. We are pleased to announce that your clerk, Janelle Keller, has met the program criteria and has attained a level 1 MIPMC certification. Wait till I read the last one. Janelle's commitment to education and desire to obtain certification clearly defies commitment to the clerk's profession and your community. On behalf of the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks Board of Directors, I ask that you join us in congratulating Janelle Keller for this accomplishment and well-deserved recognition.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you very much.
You can give me your report now.
That was where you kept sending me for 3 years. That was my week-long conference that I went to for 3 years in a
I
row.
thought you were goofing off.
Yeah, you thought I was goofing off. Okay, so clerk's report. First thing, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on your Holly Library thing. So they actually had intended to come tonight for a presentation. Something came up, so last week they had to cancel, but they are going to try to make the December board meeting to present us with whatever intentions they have at that time, I suppose. So that was on my mind to share. Danielle and I did go to that 2-day conference for planning and zoning, not last week, but the week prior. That was very valuable. We did lose power. That was interesting.
Do they have DTE?
Well, they did actually, I think, now that you say that. So that was kind of an interesting couple of hours. We went back to the good old paper and pencil note-taking bit. But it was a really good conference, and I was able to take away a lot of little nuggets. I think Danielle was as well. So thank you again for allowing us to go there. We do have some information just to share, just little pieces, little bits and pieces, but I still need to pull all those together because last week was an election. So we went from the conference to the weekend before the election working, and then we had last Tuesday the election. We did not have a whole lot of voter turnout. This was only about a little over half of the community, so this was Brandon schools and Goodrich schools only. Holly schools did not have anything on the ballot. So we had about 800 people who voted. That was 302 that voted in person and 487 that voted by AV. Now again, that's only about 800 in total. It was approximately a 25-26% turnout of the eligible voters, which was an increase from the last special election. I think we were only at about 17 or 18%. I know, that's pretty small. So if I can give you a little nugget to take away from this meeting, that impacts you directly. Those school elections, so many people think, no, that's not a big deal, but when you come in and pay your taxes, I promise you want to have a say in that. You know, whether you support it or not, this is your opportunity to vote. So tell your neighbor to get in here and vote. So that was our election. A special thank you right here to Miss Laura Bakke. She's a phenomenal election specialist and works alongside me. Those are really, really long hours. If you know people who work elections, give them a high five and a thank you, because they don't always make a ton of money doing it. And they're really long days. It is a lot of work. So a very special thank you to you. Yes. So I mentioned last week the Inside Out application. She did come out and meet with us. I just wanted to kind of rattle off where they're looking at. If you have any input though and would like to see something else. So the Detroit Institute of Arts, we were able to get a grant through them. So they will be putting out some external artwork outside of our community next year. And I know, it's really cool. It runs from, I think they said about April or May through October, November, depending on when the weather starts to turn. So we drove around, came up with a few places, but again, if you have other opinions, they're gonna start settling this soon and start making some plans. So we'll have 1 or 2 here at the township, so one probably right outside. We're gonna try to put one over here at the park, and we have the trails behind here. A lot of people walk through there. So we have those 2 locations. The new station, we thought, the new fire station would be a really cool one to put some artwork, especially this next year. Thought we'd have a little bit more traffic going in and out. We're hoping to get one at Beaky's. They have the big brick wall outside. We do have to get some permission with Beaky's to make sure that they're okay with that. One of them in Groveland Oaks. They already kind of have an agreement that they work with the county parks, so we're hoping to put one in there. We're also hoping to connect with Whiskey River to see if they would put one outside. Holly Recreation Area, the beach, where they have the big water park thing. Yes, the Woe Zone, thank you. So we were hoping to do one there, and then finally, possibility, we thought maybe the walking trail, the one that's kind of on our side over at the Renaissance Festival. So the trouble here, of course, is that we don't have a walking area. We don't have the downtown, so we had to be kind of creative where we were thinking about putting some of these. So if you have any other thoughts, that was kind of what I had come up with this lovely young lady that I met with, Colleen, and I think you had the chance to meet her. So if you have any other thoughts? So they are gonna start planning these though. So if you think of anything to change, tell me sooner rather than later. And then the only other 2 things is Mike Ruffalo. He was the one who spoke a couple months ago on the camera system. Again, he was hoping to come in today. He got ill and was not able to get everything together for tonight, so he's coming next month. And the very last thing, and this is more informational, but maybe future planning. This tree, we have had branches falling off of it at the cemetery. If you remember, we had an insurance claim about 3 years ago. It fell and broke one of the headstones, but it continues to lose branches. This is the very last one that was last week. This tree is probably not going to get any better over the next couple of years. So I did have to pay for them to remove it. You could not even get into the cemetery. We had a number of calls on it, but I don't know if we want to consider something like taking care of this in the future. It will be definitely more than that $1,000 minimum or maximum, so we would need board approval. So we don't have to necessarily talk about it tonight, but that's why that could be coming down the road. And that's really all I have.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks, Janelle.
Yeah.
Teresa?
Well, just a couple of things, I suppose. Oakland County tax and assessing, we still do work somewhat with them, with IT, with their information technology department down there. And they are doing a pretty comprehensive look at BS&A software to figure out, like most things are going to the cloud, and so they're working with some of the municipalities that are still using Oakland County assessing and others that are not. And since we have our new assessor, he's been giving some feedback, I've been giving some feedback. They're trying to decide, what next steps they're working on for 2026. So that has been an ongoing process. Preparing the winter tax bill as usual. We have an opening that is coming up at the end of this year on the Tax Board of Appeals. So this is Tax Board of Appeals is 3 residents that are trained to listen to appeals that residents have if they feel that their taxable value and everything has been assessed too high. They can come in and appeal. One of our members of the board is resigning at the end of this year. She will serve for the December Board of Review, but then that vacancy is gonna need to be filled, preferably in January, so that there can be training, so that they're ready, that the board is ready for the March Board of Review. The December Board of Review is December 9th, and that is for fixing clerical errors or hearing poverty exemptions. Dog licenses will be available for 2026, starting December 1st. And Oakland County is pushing to have people do their renewals online this year. So if you are up for renewal, they will most likely mail you a postcard. It's gonna have some new information on it. That wasn't because I said I won't do dog licenses anymore. It's because they said that they want to change to a different vendor. So we still can sell dog licenses here in the township because that is like immediate. You pay, you get the license. If you do it through Oakland County online, you have to upload your proof of vaccination, and then they mail you a dog tag, right? So it'll still be available here in the office. And the last thing I was gonna mention is because we have Choice One Bank, which is used to be called the State Bank, it's changed names, it's called Choice One Bank. Now that is the bank that is our depository for tax payments. So if you take your tax bill and your payment to a Choice One Bank, you can pay there instead of coming here. And that has been an option for as long as I have worked in this office, so at least 8 or 9 years. Because we have that, we are not required to actually be open between Christmas and New Year's. And so this year, because I've been keeping track of how many people come in between Christmas and New Year's, we have to come in and we have to be open 1 day for tax purposes, unless we have a local bank that will take payments on our behalf. And so we will still have the drop box, but this year, because of the low staffing and the very low number of people who do come in that day, we're just not gonna be open for tax payments between Christmas and New Year's. So the whole office is closed anyway, and but we'll still have the drop box for people to pay. And I think that's everything.
Thank you. Ms. Keller?
Yes, I'm sorry, I gave passed him a note. I have something else to add that I forgot. First of all, do we have any veterans in here today?
Oh geez, I forgot about Veterans Day.
No? Okay, well, thank you anyway for supporting the veterans in your life, who you know. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. We are closed, the office is closed, so it is considered a federal holiday, so the office will be closed. And just, I know Teresa had mentioned the holidays. Be mindful that in addition to tomorrow, we will have some holiday hours coming up with Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's over the next 6-7 weeks, so that's all.
That's it? All right, thank you. At this time, I will open public comment.
So I have one question about voting next year. Will absentee voting still be in our world?
As far as I know,
Okay.
yeah, that's still the plan. So we do have something called the permanent ballot list now, which is a little bit different than when it was a couple of years ago, which also probably is why our numbers were a little bit higher for this election, because people who are on the permanent ballot list just automatically get a ballot here in the state of Michigan. But I have not heard of them taking that away as far as any rules here for us in our state. So I assume that will be the case for 2026.
Good.
Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got Greg Smith on me, and wrote this down, it might be, sound kind of silly, but I'm go for it anyways, because I was listening to what Mr. Nanassis was saying, a little bit anyways, as far as, because he covered a lot of stuff. Like, man, dude. So, there's no sales tax January 1st on gasoline, if I'm not mistaken, the state did away with that. Instead, they're gonna implement a 20 cent per gallon fee on gasoline to go directly for the road construction, which you kind of hit on the road being fixed, whatever, for the last 4 years or 8 years now, I guess. We're not going there. But the thing is that the gas at $3 a gallon, which is about normal. I mean, one at a Holly is a little over $3, the other end of Holly is just under $3. I mean, 6% on $3 is what, 18 cents. Instead, now it's gonna be a 20 cent fee per gallon. So, this is also gonna adjust with inflation, cost of living, if I'm not mistaken, over the years. So will the fee go back down if, and this, I know you don't expect, I don't expect an answer on this, these are rhetorical questions for myself. Will the fee go back down after, or if inflation decreases, or will it always be at the 20 cent per gallon threshold, and then always go up and never come back down? Again, rhetorical questions. You also mentioned something about the gravel pit being mined out, I believe. I'm not an environmental engineer, so this might be kind of silly. So what happens after the gravel pit gets mined out? Does it turn into a landfill? I certainly hope not. That'll be another fight. I can see that happening now. What kind of businesses are gonna go in there as far as, you know, what Groveland Township's gonna approve or not? Because if it becomes a hazardous waste, contamination, recycling site, again, what kind of fight are we gonna have then? Can it just become a lake with a campground on it? I don't know. So will DNR or the state help with that?
Thank you.
I have different ideas and thoughts. That's my
There's
3 minutes up.
consent judgments, it can't be a landfill. Just to answer your question.
Again,
I get
things
you.
change.
I get you. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Hi, Jim Kaminsky, I'm Maple. Question, I heard that you said we had a letter from our friends at Vesper.
Yes.
Saying that they are seeing if we're gonna have our assistance. So what they're saying is either you're gonna help us find our site or we're gonna go to the state? Is that pretty much what they're saying?
They're basically saying are you going to pass an ordinance to allow us to come in, or we're gonna go to the state?
Okay. Now, is Negus, or will you be helping in the matter, or is this, have you been ready to help?
We'll probably be calling everybody in to help us on that matter, to be honest with you.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I was wondering that, is there like any other like alternate solutions that we can do to maybe make Vesper go away, like maybe buy the land off them? Say, hey, we'll assume your lease, you go someplace else, or is there any other options we
That's a
can have?
private deal between them and that landowner.
But could we say, hey, well, we as a community would like to assume this lease? Could we possibly do that? And we can turn it to something that we would want as a community. Cause I know it'd probably be cheaper just to make them go away, if it would work with them. Just say, okay, let's just get out of it, they don't want us here, you know, it'd be easier to go to X site. I don't know if it's an option, but it's definitely, I think we should look at anything we can. And I mean, probably the legal fight would probably be the most expensive for the township, which is, I don't think any of us want. You know, I say, you know, anything we can do to put our thinking caps on to look at any solution we can.
Sure.
I say, why not?
Yes, thank you. Anybody else? I'm sorry, Ms. Dibble, go ahead.
I noticed Justin had mentioned DTE, how they admitted that they weren't doing a very good job. They had a meeting on August 21st that promised everybody that they were gonna do a good job. Since that time, my power's gone out 6 times.
Yeah.
1 year it went out 17 times, after they cut. Now, I got a letter yesterday saying they're gonna cut trees again. It doesn't do any good. They admitted that their equipment is faulty and no good. So somebody should say something to them.
Just to go on that for a minute, they've given us commitment for upgrades equipment here, but to answer your question, it's a 3-year deal. It's not gonna change
I've
tomorrow.
lived here 35 years.
Oh, I understand that. They're way behind. I've been here for 55 years. Take my word, they haven't done anything here. But they have gave us a commitment, but it is not gonna change overnight. It's a 3-year plan that they gave us.
All right.
Anyone else?
Yeah, as far as the other building, there's been housing developments around former landfills. That's probably one of the best ones, on lakes. That seems to be one of the best options. Might be expensive property, but be well worth it to us. As far as taxes, Groveland Township is being taxed, in my belief, unconstitutionally from Oakland County. That should be done. We should take some kind of illegal action against them when they forced us to join the transportation package. Then our state rep has done nothing about it. I've talked to him, I've written him, he has done nothing. My county commissioner has done nothing. He says it's illegal. He says he talked to a couple attorneys. I asked the names of the attorneys, he hasn't given them to me. So I have a feeling he was lying. But I think these are actions that we should be taking. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ford?
Yeah, Kevin, this is Steve Ford. Now that Vesper has sent you the letter saying you got a certain amount of time to respond,
Yep.
what is the response going to be? How do we decide that?
Well, their response, when I say response, the first thing I gotta do is when I respond to them is they're gonna set up a meeting to come in and talk to us.
Sure.
And at that point, they're basically, my guess is they're gonna look at it and say, are you guys gonna do a while? If not, we're gonna go to the state.
Right. Will that be a community meeting? No.
It'll just be probably me and one other member of the board meeting,
Okay.
is what it is.
How do we influence you?
I think I've heard your influence. And to be honest with you, Steve, if you read through the sittings, they have to have that meeting with us.
Yeah, no.
They have to offer that meeting.
Yeah, I get it.
To say it's
I
a
just-
formality, however you wanna say it.
As an active participant and trying to watch this,
Absolutely.
I want to know the answers on how things are progressing and what
Sure.
can I do to affect change, positive change, and be a support
Yeah.
rather than just be a hindrance, just be a nonsense.
Okay. Thank you. Yes,
Can the township afford to hire a soils engineer with what I just showed you? To prove to them that they'll need to spend millions to make that site usable?
how's this? In my opinion, once we figure out when they go to the state and actually file with the state, then the township, at that point, we will have to come up with what we wanna do as a board. Until that point, I don't wanna say keep your powder dry, but until we know they're going to the state and what's gonna happen, at that point, we'll have to make those decisions. I don't think this board or any of us would wanna rush out and hire lawyers, experts, whatever, and I'm not saying call their bluff, but what happened if they didn't go?
Right.
We're gonna wait and see if they're gonna go. Ms. Smith?
Are you ready for me?
Well, I don't know if I'm ready for you, but go ahead.
Here, I'll have you. Because why not? So just first a few things, want to just do a thanks, for the last few meetings. Coming back here in August was a surprise, especially waiting for almost a year, but thank you to this board, for your diligence, for the work you guys have all put into what you've done, for your honesty. I asked for accountability and transparency at the PC meeting, and I do feel that there is more of that coming forward from the members, and I want to give that notice publicly. Thank you. I also want to thank, Mr. Danaskis for attending our meeting today. That is, unexpected, and, it's an honor to have you here in our presence in our community. You gave me a lot more work to do, Justin Danaskis, thanks so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, job security that I do for nothing except for the love of our neighbors and where we live. As many of you know, or some of you may or may not know, myself as well as several other Groveland Township members attended the MPSC meeting, and I will say that from only finding out at the meeting here October 20th that we were invited to an October 27th meeting, the attendance from our township was outstanding in my opinion. If I'm given more time and advance notice, I'm sure that we would get an awful lot more members of our community, not just in Groveland, but the surrounding communities. I get a lot of input, a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, and I'm a voice for the community. It's not just myself that I speak up for, and you see who I'm married to there. I'm curious to learn more about how we are, he's very quiet, but when he speaks, look out. When, I'm curious to see if we're not gonna do a YO, how that's gonna be written into our documents.
I'm curious too.
Yeah, I'll be asking at PC meetings, cause I'm not gonna bring that up here. It'll be interesting to see how that complies with the state for these high energy. Been doing a lot more investigating, and obviously since just this August, even though I've been a year and a half, and I did this at the MPSC meeting, I unpacked my backpack of notes that I've accumulated as well as signed on the petition that it's not been uploaded to the petition, because a lot of people have signed it and not gone online, because there are a lot in our community that like to do it that way. I don't know what my note was here, but I was just curious with the Vesper. I love the comments that went up. Something that I would like to find out if it's possible, and that it may be a matter of public record, but in a prior meeting, there was, when Mr. Fike was here from Vesper, commented about how September 13th, he was gonna be, their company would be deadline for their queue in the MISO. So where are they now with that? September's gone, so don't they have to reapply before they can even go to the state? How does that work is my question. And I think that's pretty much all that I have for any of that, except for to say that it's not done at this level to our community. I appreciate that there were 2 of these board members at that MPSC meeting. Thank you for your attendance and information and support as well. You do have the backing of this community. I did share at that meeting that there are other states that are doing best and other countries. It's only been done successfully twice in the world that I've seen it successful. There may be more, I just haven't found them yet. I found more unsuccessful best than successful. And then the final thing that I would say is that the jobs that this brings us. And so therefore, why would you put the toxic risk, the thermal runaway, the danger to health and community safety at risk for, I mean, is profit is the only thing? That's, what are we really all about then? So that's it. And again, sincere thank yous for all of those who have listened to the community.
Thank you, Carrie. Anybody else?
I have a question. It's kind of the opposite direction. Do you gentlemen know, and I'm sure that it has been tossed around, but this like randomly popped in my head. I actually texted Teresa about it today. Did you give
you a response?
Well, but it was just somebody needs to do something, right?
So, yeah.
So, where I'm going with this, I'll come back to her text later. So, this, over the last couple of days, this popped into my mind. How does Public Act 233 not directly conflict with the Zoning Enabling Act that's been in place for 50 years? Because that is what gives us the power to regulate this community and what is safe and what we want and what follows our master plans. So how does this, you have something? It looks like there's a hand here.
I talked to Will about it today. That's
Okay.
Okay.
from what I understand from what Will told me. If you read 233, there is verbiage in there that basically says that 233 preempts any of that.
So it's basically nullifying that entire act.
Trump said, supersedes it, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was the response that David Martin gave me, was that at some point, it's going to happen that, someone's gonna be given permission by the state to do what they want to. And it's going to be in opposition to the longstanding Zoning Enabling Act, right? And then somebody with standing is gonna have to challenge it in court. It's gonna have to go to court. And so, I don't know if that means like spending a lot of money to take somebody to court, or if it just means.
Spend a lot of money, no doubt about that.
Should be a class.
There's other ways to fight.
But it might be a class action lawsuit.
It's not just that.
Well, I don't know how much money that involves,
You
but
should fight
I would think
here and other
you can
things,
fight
yes.
something in court without it.
Environmental.
Right.
Just because things are still sitting in court doesn't mean that Foster Swift is charging all those municipalities a ton of money right now. They filed something and it's sitting there waiting,
Right.
right? So, yeah.
All right.
Unless you've heard anything other.
Obviously the architects of it, know that they were, had my term trump the locals to kind of come over top of them and, place these where they want to, so. The language seems to be in there, then they tag it on to, the public benefit of these projects, I guess, so. Now, again, some could very well, challenge them if they have a standing, and then the courts could decide.
Mr. Dilbert?
That and also our transportation tax,
Yes.
I believe are both unconstitutional, according to the US Constitution. Article 4, Section 4, which says that we're supposed to have a representative government. These both eliminate that. And a decent attorney should be able to overcome that in the courts.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Just a note, PA 233 is only one, PA 231 is another, and my phone died, or I would pull up the other one. But there's a few different things that are existing in there, and there is some verbiage in PA 233 that Eagle is gonna have to go out and ascertain whether or not those properties are viable. The question becomes, because these require a boatload of water, but it's being done in some, there's one being built right now, it's a whole ecosystem and providing over 6,000 jobs. But it's also in a very remote area, not around green. Green is green,
Yep.
Trees are green, right? Outside is green. Green is not where you have batteries that are gonna have seepage and run away and into our aquifer, into waters. It's not just us. Vesper wants to put in the 900 megawatts throughout the state of Michigan. And that's, I think in PA 231, don't quote me, there's something else, but Governor Gretchen Whitmer put in play that she wants over 2,000 megawatts in the state of Michigan, in best. Or that we have to find something else that is safer to the community. We're not saying I am not a tree hugger, number one. I love where I live, but I'm just saying, I understand advancements and the need for, more energy for whatever the purposes are down the line. We know AI exists. We shouldn't be stupid to think that there's not gonna be some sort of necessity. But we need STEM and we need brilliant people right now, because class is just a stupid answer. The end, I'm sorry, I could run it out.
Go ahead, Melissa.
So Melissa, just last statement, just piggybacking on that. Don't forget, there's other laws, not just this PA 233. NEPA is pretty powerful, and our Supreme Court is one of the most environmentally friendly Supreme Courts probably in the country. This is the time to fight this at the state level. I believe we could win, and we've identified some environmental attorneys that can help us.
Sure.
And we've got a lot of people who want to help us with this. So we know that these things are necessary. They just need to be thoughtfully and responsibly cited. This is not the site. So don't lose hope. But we have to keep fighting. The fight is certainly not over. But there's other ways to fight this.
Thank you.
233, in my interpretation, doesn't think lithium's a toxic chemical. My thoughts on that pretty extreme. And I still think MSU against U of M, the chemists could prove somebody was getting a scholarship for writing what they did from U of M. It's not science.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, that property, at Dixie and Grange Hall, old Farmer Nick's property.
Mm-hmm.
What's the latest on that? I mean,
Nothing.
there's a lot of land up in there.
The gas
I
station
think
owns
it's
it.
31 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex owns it, but it's just sitting there and that.
Yeah, they haven't
house
came
is
with
just
any,
falling apart.
they haven't came with any plans yet to do
Yeah.
anything.
Are they supposed to upkeep that house, the pink one?
They should, shouldn't they? I've had that conversation with them already.
Yes, I don't for anything.
Anybody else? All right.
Groveland Township maintenance needs to oil the door out there.
No, that's our
I was
alarm.
gonna say, that's the alarm,
yeah.
that's how everybody knows somebody's here.
That's how we know somebody's walking in the door.
That's how we wake up when you guys come in. Alright, I'm gonna close public comment then. Somebody wanna make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion that we adjourn and reopen for fire board meeting.
Support. All those in favor?
Aye.
John, the floor is yours.
Okay.
I was a little confused when you were speaking.
Give me 2 minutes, John.
You were a little quick.
I'll spend this on green on one place. I know, pretty good. You know, we talked for about it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I might be short legs, so not quickly. I'm trying to stand up for you guys.
Thank you for your meeting tonight. In an attempt to be timely, we approve or request that we just get a motion to approve the entire package. You're hired. Do it up.
See that young man, sir.
We'll start with apparatus and equipment. We've gotten the air trailer back that was donated to us by the DNR. It's under the Department of Defense grant. So we've had it about a year now. It's taken us to get it in service, so we'll get that lettered up and then it'll be ours. And they are coming out, I believe Justin said next week to give us training on it. Is it tomorrow? Okay, he told me that last week. So they're coming out tomorrow to train us on it and then it'll be put in service. The mule is lettered in service now.
I'm so sorry, can we pause for just a minute? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, back, the mule that we also got from the DNR grant is lettered and in service. We're still waiting on a response from a grant for a skid unit for it. The chief's truck, it finally got the lights in it and they work great. There's just a couple installation issues that we're working out with them. Brush one, the skid unit's been wired and installing emergency lights on it. So that should be in service here by the end of the month. F41 had a broken emergency light bezel, so we replaced that. Engine 2 had a couple broken gauges on the pump panel, and those were replaced. F42 had a broken license plate bracket that was replaced. F43, even though it's only a little over a year old, the tailpipe rusted out on it and it had to be replaced.
Oh,
Wow.
So,
it's that 5th application of calcium chloride, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. Or dirt roads.
Trying to get it in, didn't you?
We have a couple overhead doors at Station 2 that are working here and there. Currently getting quotes on them. We got one from Pioneer Door. We're waiting on another one from Overhead Door Company. And the additional quotes for the well pump replacement at Station 2, we're waiting on one more. They put out for 4 of them, and I've gotten one other one back from Lalone, Ray Lalone so far. So,
Was it
nobody wants money,
comparable?
obviously.
Was it comparable?
It was $1,000 more
Okay, good.
than Wayman, so waiting on another one. It's still working right now, so
Yeah.
just kinda playing the odds. Personnel, Jordan McCord and Caleb Fairless are in EMT class at Mott, and they are doing quite well. They're both at the top of their class, so kudos to them. And then I have a request to hire 2 cadet firefighters. They come from the clerk's household. We have 2 very high recommendations for them. Unfortunately, one of them is unable to attend, so he's standing in for both. So I would like a motion to hire 2 cadets.
I will make a motion that we hire 2 cadets, with last names Keller, and, to be cadets for Groveland Fire.
I second
Yep, they went through the interview process with the board, and they both had very high remarks for them, so,
it. They probably get that from their father.
yeah. They were quite impressive.
Definitely.
All right, so we got a motion
And a second.
and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
You abstain?
Don't we have to do a roll call vote because there's money involved?
Oh geez, I'm sorry, I forgot, they do get some, I
I'm
apologize.
still gonna abstain.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Wiederhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Abstain.
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
Okay, just to keep,
Congratulations, young man.
I can sit on that side with all the firefighters.
yeah, why can't you have me?
Hey, at least you got a blue coat on.
Just to keep you updated on our staffing, does continue to be a challenge to keep both stations staffed throughout the shift week.
Why don't you tell them the good news?
The good news is I have Jacob Jones returning and Andre Willis as soon as he moves back. So Andre Willis, he was with us and he moved to Alabama
Yeah.
for a while, and his wife didn't like it, so she made him move back. He already got rehired back on his full-time position in Springfield, so he's flying back and forth right now until he can find a place up here. And then as soon as he comes, he'll start picking up shifts here again.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
And they're both excellent guys, great to work with, they're great for morale, so.
Yeah.
Good.
Is everyone comfortable with just rolling them back onto records? They haven't been gone that long.
As long as their employment status is still just fine, I don't see.
We would have terminated them and everything, but that's an easy fix and we'll just shift them back over.
Do we need a motion and a vote on it?
Would we have to do another background check on them?
That's kind of where I'm going. I mean,
I think it's been less than,
right
about 6 months.
It really
so
hasn't been
it's-
that long
it's
for
right
either of
in that
them.
time.
Oh, okay.
so I guess, yeah, if you,
I'm fine with putting them right back on.
okay,
Yeah, they're both full-time firefighters other places, so.
yeah.
after
I
anything
certainly
to
don't have a
happen.
problem with it.
Yeah,
Why
as long
spend
as,
the money?
Why don't we make the motion of just absorbing them back onto our current
yeah,
roster
since they're
as if they
full-time.
had not left?
Why don't you make that motion?
Are we okay with that?
Well, since they're full-time at neighboring fire
Yeah.
departments.
Well, and they left, it's not like they left on poor circumstances or
No.
anything,
Right.
so.
Just to reinstate them at their previous.
Yes, just so that we put them back on, but we have documentation of it. So my motion would be that we simply roll them back onto our current roster as if they had never left.
I'll second that. Lori, you wanna roll call that, please?
Keith Wiederhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes.
Janelle Keller.
Yes.
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Go ahead, John, I didn't mean to cut you off, it's just,
Oh, no, that worked out perfect. So hopefully, our staffing will be much better once we get them back on. We do have Caleb and Jordan finishing up in December, so hopefully in January that'll cover most of our holes. And then we are continuing to also look for some more. And then waiting on the SAFER grant to see.
Yeah.
And that would definitely fix our problems. Community risk reduction. We installed smoke detectors in 2 more households. Oak Hill Estates was supposed to have finalized installation of the 3 broken fire hydrants. I haven't gotten word back from her yet, but they were supposed to be scheduled to be installed last Tuesday. So. And then EMS report, let Bruder run with that.
All right, so recently we were required to put all of our employees through a protocol update for November. All of our active fire service personnel have been put through those updates for Oakland County. There was 41 protocol revisions that were implemented on November 1st, and that was all of the training that was provided to all of our staff who are currently active. We have EMS report cards on the back that you guys are more than welcome to look at. I'm not sure why my bad one made it in there. So.
Have to.
Just kidding. Also, we're in the process of working with ESO, which is our report software, to implement a couple things. One of them is automatic CAD import that allows us to just import all of our times, locations, and information straight from the call that comes from dispatch directly into our PCR report. So that does a couple things for our people. It makes it easier and faster for them to transpose that information into their patient care reports. And it also avoids some of that maybe tired mistakes that we would make otherwise. It imports directly from our dispatch CAD system, so that's cool. We're integrating that now. We're also working on integrating a piece that helps to automate the billing process to maybe make that a little bit smoother for us as well. So those are 2 processes that are currently in motion. And we last week submitted our Oakland County 2026 letter of compliance and received back that all is good. So that's where we are. By the end of next week, I'll have all of our personnel through the pairs class, the ACLS, and the PALS class. Everybody certified for the moving into 2026.
And that's a pretty big undertaking, getting everybody through that. And it is quite a cost savings to us having Bruder do it in-house.
Sure. Excellent.
All right, on to operations. 75 construction continues, and had an accident out there today. A rollover. Driver didn't see the stop traffic in front of them as they were picking up the Jersey barriers, and went out and hit a road sign and rolled their car over. But we transported them, no real injuries on them, just for precaution. So it was supposed to be open the middle of the month, but now the estimated time to open is the end of the month. So hopefully in December, it'll all be open and ready to go. Also, the NFIRST and NEARS transition, it's our fire reporting to the federal government. Luckily for us, we're working with Clemis, is building most of the modules for us and importing all the data. So as the modules come up, they send me the information that I need to comply with to make it fit to what we require as a department, because everybody runs their numbers just a little bit differently. So it's been a pretty easy process so far, and it's expected to open up, start using it in the beginning of December. So what I'm being told by Clemis is it's going to be a seamless integration over to it. FMRF, unfortunately, like everybody else, has raised their rates from $52.43 to $55.05, and that's a the county. It's basically a part of Clemens, and they handle all of our fire records retention. Mavis 3201, that's the mutual aid association in North Oakland County that we're a part of. They increased their annual fee from $3,300 to $4,200 with a $300 a year increase after that for the next 3 years. And that's to maintain the equipment that the association holds, and they also fund the box card system that they have in dispatch. So they're in the process right now of looking for a new system from the one we used to have. So more to come on that.
Box cards?
The software system that's integrated with dispatch. They're looking for a little bit more user-friendly system, so they're investigating that right now. So hopefully have a little bit more information on that next one. And then I have attached a fee schedule. It has our ambulance billing schedule, fee schedule that was adopted a few months ago. And also, these fees are, this is what we've been charging, but it's not formalized, accepted. It's in the ordinance, but just for the ease of billing, for start to bill the cost recovery and that, wanted to put it all on one.
This is what you have been charging them, John?
Yes.
I mean, these are the fees for.
Yep, the medical fees was approved during the meeting on 8/11 of 25. And the rest of these fees, the most of them, I did add in there the fee for the mule, a command vehicle, the light trailer, and an ALS standby fee. I just researched and picked the median of what everybody charges for those four. Same with the false alarm fee. We do have, it is in the ordinance that we can recoup the costs, but that in itself was not specified.
So we need to amend the actual ordinance to specify. Is that what you're saying?
No, we can have this as a ancillary
Addendum.
appendix.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is easy to change.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Okay.
directly in it. So I request approval of the fee schedule.
Is this what Kim was asking about? From Star that I
Probably, I imagine it is, but I can't say for certain.
so by approving the fee schedule, is this fee schedule referenced in the ordinance? So like, does,
It is, it says we can recoup the costs associated with the run,
does it
In the
say in the
ordinance,
ordinance?
but it doesn't
See
specifically
fee
say.
schedule attached or something to that effect? I don't.
No,
Okay. Cause if it did, if it said something like that, then we could change the fee schedule as we wanted to, or as, you know, without having to change the entire ordinance. That's what I thought I heard you say.
it does, it just says we have the right to recoup the costs that we incur.
Okay.
So you just need us to adopt or approve this fee schedule then?
Yes.
Is that what I'm getting at?
So third and fourth false alarm is 50, and then fifth through 10th is $250 each time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So,
You're right.
When actually 250 just barely breaks us even to what it costs. By
That
the
will-
time we pay the $50 dispatch fee,
Yeah.
and then the equipment usage going out there, and then depending on how many responders we have coming,
Sure.
you know,
No, I understand it
20, 30.
entirely.
that's why I'm wondering why only $50 for third and fourth offense?
always had to pay 500 even for the first time in Royal Oak, so.
I mean, it just seems
Hey, that'd be
like,
great for me. It does my budget much better, but I don't wanna penalize a resident and make them upset with us if they're already paying.
well, how many residents have multiple false alarms?
I would say there's a few places in the township that would reach past the $50 fee.
Yeah, there's
Very few.
There's 2 or 3 residences that we run on that have false alarms. The majority of the false alarms are Camp Tamarack and the Navis building.
They've got their own equipment.
They do.
At least they're gonna be nice and close as of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could look out the
Just
window.
walk across the street.
I walk over there and drop the bill off.
Yeah.
Only 250.
I guess-
Paper airplane the bill.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with those charges, I mean, it's up to you how you want it, the fee schedule to be. I just wondered, you know, like, it just seemed a little bit low, like, nothing costs $50.
Right, it's more intended to be like, please get your stuff fixed. We're serious about it.
Okay,
I'm good with $100 instead of the 50.
yeah, I think 50 is just not enough, personally. Like, you're gonna go all the way there,
It should stay.
Yeah, it should stand, I agree.
because you're paying you're absorbing the cost of the 911 call
Correct.
already.
And we're gonna give
So-
a freebie twice, which
Yeah.
costs us $1,000.
Which costs you guys money,
Mhm.
plus everything going out there, right? So, yeah, I personally think that a third offense should be racking up more than $50 fee. But that's my opinion.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, did you say this is annually? Or
Yes.
just in general?
Annually.
So annual?
Yep.
My only recommendation
okay.
would be to put that on there. If you did?
I did not.
The only reason I say that is, and this is not to critique you, but you know that sometimes
Yeah.
someone's gonna
Yeah, this is true.
say,
So calendar year.
yes. Yeah, that's a good question too. Calendar year, or,
No.
I guess it won't, that can be something we
Couldn't
could
run
figure
a
out.
running year.
Okay.
So the first time somebody gets a false alarm is when the clock starts ticking,
Yes.
okay? Then they have 12 months period, and if they never have another false alarm, then it
And
starts
then
over
it falls
again.
off. and
Okay,
it's not
gotcha.
gonna Start over again.
Mm-hmm. That's fair enough.
I do agree with the third and fourth, John. I would at least get $100 out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I would. I mean, Teresa's right, $50. That's just, you're just getting your call money back at that point.
True, yeah.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but
I'm good with
you know
that.
you have habitual offenders. I mean,
If the goal is to get them to fix their stuff, $50 is inconvenience. It's like flicking a fly or something
True.
like that.
Especially
You
in
know,
today's time. We're
Right.
Spending a lot more than that.
I mean, I'm not
so-
poo-pooing $50, but $50 means that the fire department's still
and we're
paying
gonna- and we're
for
gonna
these
make it
people's
annual
false
calendar
alarms.
Or
Hmm.
annually.
It's gonna improve.
Yeah.
So,
So $100 for third and fourth?
Yes.
Yep.
Can you get on board with that, or like?
Yeah, no, I just, it was more of a service to the residents,
Right.
so.
No,
they
I
weren't
understand
upset
what
with
you're,
us.
I understand
But,
what you're doing, John, but I hate to say it, $100.
yeah, anymore. It's
Yeah.
really nothing, so.
Well, I think people, like, you do want it to sting a little,
Yeah,
Mhm.
like,
yeah, you wanna get their attention though, at least
and
a
this is
little
the
bit.
third time you're going, and the
Mhm.
fourth time you're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, you gave them 2 freebies
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
mhm.
I'll make a motion.
I don't know how to word it.
Just accept the fee schedule as
I'll
submitted.
make a motion that we accept the fee schedule as submitted.
Support, well,
Nope,
sorry, with the
wait.
100.
Oh, with the $100
With the modification.
for third and fourth offense.
Yeah.
And then the clarification of the running year.
Running
from the
year.
first
And the
one.
clarification that it is an annual from the first offense.
Yep. Okay.
You supported, Janelle?
Yes, but were you gonna say something to that? Were you adding something?
No, and if she motioned for it without the change, she said
Yeah.
as written.
Yeah, the 100 and the annual.
Laura, do you want a roll call, on it, please?
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Peterhold.
Yes.
Company training, we finally got the animal catch poles on the ambulances. Fulton County Animal Control came out and did a training for us, and it was one of the highest attended trainings we've had. He was really good, really down to earth, and gave us a lot of really good pointers on using them, so.
Did he bring in some animals for you to catch?
No, they were supposed to, but they didn't end up, and actually, we already used it
Oh.
to catch a feral cat that was in a house
Oh.
over the weekend. So it really worked out quite well. Dogs had scratches all over him.
John, I gotta stop you for 1 minute. Back up to your fee schedule, just,
Janelle has questions.
Okay.
I wasn't even gonna throw you under the bus.
I just didn't know what the stars, you have asterisks on a few of these, what do those mean? You have engine, tanker, brush truck, and command vehicle with an asterisk?
Yes, that's after the first hour.
So that is what is charged after the first hour? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'll add that in there.
Dang it, motion, or. do I
It is
need to
on
amend
our-
my motion?
Individual cost recovery sheet, that's how it's written. but
Okay, that's okay, I just noticed that after we talked about it, and went, well, what is that for?
Per hour after the first hour?
Yes.
All right, now that you're done catching cats, go ahead, John.
Oakland County Medical Control hosted a protocol update via Zoom on the new protocol changes 2 weeks ago. We had a really good attendance, and I think we got some good answers
I think so, too.
on some questions we had with the changes and in ways we can work into our system to be advantageous for us and not burn people out. Primarily on the patient sign-offs, refusals, because now they're requiring the paramedic to do all the paperwork. So that's quite a burden on one person when you have multiple patients and multiple calls. It stacks, you know. We have about an hour each call that it takes to do the paperwork for it. So if we run 5 or 6 calls, you know, that's 5 calls, usually about an hour and a half, 2 hours a piece. So you tack another hour onto that. It's a lot, especially when you get them at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, and you're tired. So it doesn't distribute the workload very well. And it really takes away everything that EMT is as well, because they don't get to do any of that. That really undermines their being.
Weren't you guys, like, fighting that?
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to find a different avenue,
Yeah.
because it's not, it's kind of halfway in the law, and it's not in the state protocols. The county threw it in their protocols.
Can the EMT write the report and the paramedics sign off on it?
That's kind of what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah,
That's kind of what it
just,
came down.
just kind of a workaround,
yeah,
because they're both there anyways with the patient.
Yeah.
You know, either one of them's taking down the information and the other one's doing the evaluation.
it's actually a good checks and balance system.
Yeah,
hopefully.
it's a team, where that comes into play always before that we did, because one person's in the back of the truck with the patient, and the other one's driving, and the other person doesn't know what's going on in the back of the truck, so they can't testify that this is what happened and sign that report. So, that was a real stopping point. But that wasn't the case, so still working on it. So hopefully we'll get that resolved.
If you don't mind, Chief, I do think we got good clarification from them. And originally, they were gonna come in person to Groveland Township to talk to us about a few of these things. And they got so much, feedback from other departments locally that they decided to include everyone and have this large meeting in order to get feedback about the protocols that they had written. And it sounds like they're gonna do that time and time again now in the future, because everything that they got from our local departments was so helpful for them as far as clarification and how it actually looks in the streets, the way that they wrote it. So it went really well, I thought, and it wouldn't have happened if we had kind of stumped our foot a little and asked them to come out and give us some clarification.
Yeah, I got everybody else riled up around too, so
Yeah.
Sure.
it's working.
Yeah.
That's what
Just
it
takes
takes.
time.
Are these people who write these protocols, are they, firefighter?
Stacy's on the protocol committee.
Okay,
She's
I mean,
one
I
of
just,
those.
my question is.
So-
You're welcome. I didn't write it.
No, there's a couple doctors on there from the local hospitals, then obviously the director, medical control director, and then the others are from agencies. There's four or five other members on the committee that work for departments in the county.
Private
Area.
municipal.
Okay.
It's a mix. It's much better in Oakland County than it is in the rest of the state, because we do have a diversified committee to review and write everything. So it has gotten way better over the years, because it used to just be doctors on there, and they don't really have a grasp of how things work in the field. They only know their end. So
That's what I was wondering.
it's become a much better system.
Okay.
Again, what Ruger said, we've been working on our PALS, our ACS and CPR, for fire training. We've been still pushing really hard, engineer training to get more of our personnel certified, SCBA and radio communications. And then on to grants. Let Stacy talk about grants, because she's a grant wizard.
Okay. So we were able to get the AAA Foundation grant. We did receive that check. We got the vests ordered and we have them at the station. We're waiting to, stamp them with GTFD on them. We also got the PAR grant for dash cams for 10 of our vehicles. That's through the liability through the township. We're working on a regional grant for the AFG Assistance Firefighters Grant for a regional grant for cardiac monitors. We are still waiting to hear back on the SAFER grant. With the government shutdown, I don't foresee that happening in the immediate future. Last time we got the SAFER grant, it took 2 years. And I applied for that a year ago. We're waiting on the DNR grant for the skid unit for the mule. I would expect us to hear from that sometime next month. So.
Stacey, I don't know if you were here when I talked about CDBG or not. Were you here? Okay.
So we've ignored that 7 year now?
I don't know. But we got one step closer today with an email, so.
You let me know when I can order the gear, because it takes 16 weeks to come in.
Trust me, I know.
Nothing moves fast. Okay, onto the alarms, pretty much still consistent with all the years prior. Year to date, October 31st, we had 953 calls and 91 calls for the month. Pretty consistent with the previous year. And then I've attached a time of day, day of week, call, I don't know exactly what you want to call it, but it's pretty interesting if you read it. I don't know if any idea
This is
what the
really
majority of our calls are.
Yeah.
Just so you know, a few years ago, I was set on a project to examine our runs. And I did all this by hand because I didn't know that you could print a report.
No, I did that. It took me like, no.
I have it highlighted in different colors, different time of day, and double runs and all the things.
Yeah, Bob's not here anymore.
Yep.
But I thought it was pretty
I actually also talked to
interesting.
Chief Mason about that too.
Did you do a push pin map?
I didn't do the push pin map, but I had it by hour and time of day, and I'm looking at this going, it's a lot of wasted time.
Yeah, there are some pretty neat reports we can run off business objects in the Clemens. And
Yeah.
they are pretty good with working on us to build whatever reports we want them to run, so. I guess the money we spend on it is worth it, so we do get a lot of good value out of it. And then on to the township attractions. Rotten Manor's closed for now until Christmas, and that went off well without a hitch.
Oh.
Other than the noise.
Oh, speaking of noise, have you guys received complaints? You know,
No, I'm gonna see what they say
about the booms
in the middle of the
in the
night.
middle of the night?
No.
I read about it on Facebook.
Mm-mm.
Well,
I've never
I
heard
experienced a
one, so,
boom.
yeah.
I guarantee you have to have heard about the booms.
Noah did too, the other day.
I've had like 6 calls.
Shook my whole house.
Really?
Shook my whole house, and my neighbors.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was something on a vehicle going down Dixie Highway.
No, this is like all throughout the community. We've received calls. It actually feels and sounds like a cannon, like a full cannon.
I agree with that.
The only reason, so you've heard it too, that's right. Like a
It's a
cannon.
resounding, echoing boom.
It's so bizarre. But I didn't know if maybe you guys have heard it on calls or, no? Okay, well, I'm-
Well, the station one are pretty thin, I've heard them.
so I would say that the calls that we received have been kind of, you all know where I live. Over Perryville, Brant,
Grange Hall.
Grange
Most
Hall,
of them have
kind of,
been-
yeah, like the
Most of them have
northern
been on
side.
the east side.
Yeah, north,
I agree with
well,
that.
north side, I would say. Nothing, huh?
Is there like a
So,
sign?
so I was just gonna say, and I would agree with you, that is kind of what it sounds like, but this is always in the middle of the night. Have you experienced it any other time of day?
Only after dark.
Yeah, between like 9 and 3 is when people have complained about it, I would say, would you agree?
People
yeah.
in Ortonville complain about it too.
In another county, they had like propane cannons that would go off on sensors for
The birds.
wildlife going into the farmer's fields.
Yeah.
Especially if it's at all hours of a different night, they're pretty loud, I mean, that's the goal of them, is to get the birds and whatnot out of the field. I don't know anybody that personally has them, but I know they happen also in neighboring counties.
Well, that happened in Goodrich.
Goodrich did have a number of, on social media, they had complained about it also. That was probably around September, and then it seemed like October, it kind of moved into Groveland.
Up there, they would warn us when they were
Weird.
I think the aliens.
You've heard about it?
Geological settlement.
I'm telling you, it's really weird.
Running.
Well, anyway, sorry, continue. Okay. Speaking of Rotten Manor
I will look.
being closed, they did not have a cannon apparently. I did think it was them. I did, I was like, this the Wally's got a cannon.
It wouldn't surprise
I wouldn't be surprised.
On Rotten Manor, somebody did come up here and make a noise complaint. I went out there on one of their busier nights. We don't need a decibel reader, it's
No.
not that loud at all.
And you did not think, was it the last weekend?
Second to last weekend.
So we had a number of complaints for the music as well. I did talk to him the last weekend and he said he turned it down.
And I think some of it too is the leaves are coming off the trees and it insulates. I could carry on a one-on-one conversation with the music going and people walking around with no issues.
Yeah, cause you drove by too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the night I drove, but that was probably like a month before.
yeah,
It was loud.
yeah, it was loud, it was definitely loud even from our house.
Yeah.
But he got new speakers, I think he was trying to figure that out also.
And I was also about 25 the weekend before Halloween. And he had said the first couple weekends he had turned it down a little bit.
Gotcha. Sorry to hijack your conversation.
Oh, no, that's okay. Paulie's always really good at
He was.
working
he's-
with us,
Yeah,
so.
he was good.
The campgrounds and beaches are all closed for the season. As I said, there, Groveland Oaks, we had 5 runs in there. Nothing of any significance. Holly Wreck, we had 1 vehicle fire And here on beach to low zone, we had 6 injuries, and we had one incidents where there were 2 kids on a kayak they thought were lost. So we had to go out and search for them, and they turned up, luckily. And then 1 down tree, so not a whole lot out of them. And then just a couple of incidents of interest. I don't need to read all those. Can explain themselves. Community outreach. We participated in 2 trunk or treat events, and we did the Brandon Homecoming Parade with a ladder. Justin drove it, and Caleb threw candy off the top. So, it went really well. The association, individuals made a $600 donation to the Miner family, the firefighter in Springfield who tragically lost his life from a toilet paper making incident. The association received a check for $400 from Oxford Bank, $700 and 10 turkeys from Costco for the Thanksgiving, and Wally donated $1,500 to the association. Does that carry? And those donations will go primarily to the Thanksgiving and the Christmas Adopt a Family. The association also made $567 from the sale of Halloween shirts and breast cancer awareness shirts, and a portion of that we have to vote on because there weren't that many sold for the breast cancer awareness. We'll vote on the association to come up with the amount to donate. Groveland Township Firefighter Association dinner flyer is attached to this, so if you know anybody in need, I think we're at 35 right now. Last year we did 72.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, right about 72, so we're a little bit down this month, so, or this year, I don't know if the SNAP cards really have a big play in our area, but
Yeah.
it's, we were expecting a lot more than that by now, and so we have 2 weeks to go. Hopefully we get more.
Do you remember how many you had last year at this time?
About 70, or I don't, Megan did it, didn't she, last year?
Yeah, it's probably, usually it's the last couple weeks.
That's what I'm wondering.
What if I have some I think would probably want it? Like, should I just talk to you and see if maybe they've signed up, or ask you if you're familiar
Yes,
with their
Stacy
names?
has a list.
Stacy?
Yep, absolutely.
Alright.
Or if you know anybody, sometimes we get a call like the day of or the day before, oh, my neighbor lives by himself. If we have somebody like that in the community, please have them call me. Anybody in the area who wants a hot meal, we'll be cooking all day. Call us and we'll make sure they get a meal.
Okay.
Yep, we made plenty.
Is Mr. Fleet putting that in the paper for you?
I believe it already was, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yep. And then, I'd like to,
Nothing, I'll talk to Stacy after the meeting.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
And I'd like to get a special thanks to Supervisor Scramlin for hooking us up with the OSHA program to help the elderly with the brush trimming, snow removal, and heavy debris removal from their properties. That would probably also play right into the other questions on the CBDG money. It would probably be way easier to put them through this program than to wait a year to get funds for that. So.
I'm serious, John, if you know anybody that can use that program, we've got the money there.
Yeah, hopefully.
Get 'em in it.
We're gonna start approaching them next week.
Good.
Freed up a little bit of time.
I have that paper too.
Yeah, I actually had a couple calls last week, thank you for putting that in there. Yeah. But yeah, the money's there, so let's use it.
Okay. And then that concludes what I have. On to, there's one report card we got back that was pretty bad on our part.
I saw that.
Can't expect them all to be 100%, but on that instance, our ambulances were both at the hospital, and we called North Oakland for mutual aid. So it took 7 minutes for them to get back out of the hospital because we don't get reception, we can't abandon the patient in there. So once they were able to get out, we contacted dispatch to have mutual aid from NACFA, and they got on scene and just did a basic evaluation, because they heard us responding and they didn't want to assume care. It's kind of one of those. So as soon as Kyle got on scene, he assumed care and he treated the child and ran it to the hospital. It was for a febrile seizure, which it's generally, once the Motrin wears off, they spike a fever real quick and then it drops back down. So it's just a change in core temperature that sends them into a febrile seizure.
Is there any, if you get a report like that, is there any follow-up that you do
That's what I asked that too.
With them?
People, yeah, do you call them back and
Yeah,
talk to them about it?
EMS coordinator does. Yep. And we just got that one in. It just,
And
the
that's
day
when- and that
before,
happened in February.
right.
Oh, wow.
So it takes forever, and you see, we send out one for every call we go on now, not just transport. So if we go and do a lift assist or sign somebody off, we also send them a report card too. Because I mean, we want to take a entire snapshot of our treatment, not just a selective. We transported you, so we want to know how we did. So, and so we send out probably over 800 of them, and this is the numbers we get back. Not many.
Well, the good news is most of them are positive,
Yeah,
you know, because usually people send that kind of stuff in, they wanna complain,
correct.
you know what I mean?
It's not that surprising either. I mean, I was frustrated when I got there, that they stood around and waited for us. So, you know, all right, well, let's go. We take the patient out and get them in the ambulance and do the exact things they should have done and could have done twice in the amount of time it took us to get from the hospital back to that residence.
So this critique really should have been sent to NACFA.
100%. Absolutely.
But you also have to understand that in high-stress situations like that, people's perception of time and things that happen, you know, it's quite skewed, so.
And to them, we're all the fire department.
Sure.
Right.
There's no division in their brain of NACFA and Groveland.
Yeah.
They live in Groveland, and
Right.
you know, so
Have you talked to Chief Lyle about that?
No, I have not yet.
Or you said you just got back?
Yeah, just in time to put it in here. And that concludes what I have.
Thank you. Public comment, Dave?
Public comment?
Anybody? Katerina, you got anything you wanna say? No? Oh, you want I agree with her. All right. Anybody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Katerina, let's go home.
Let's go home.
Shall we go home?
Thank you, everybody.